Our story kicks off with Neil Clark, a guy whose life is as gray as a rainy Tuesday. He's a school teacher with no passion, living in a cramped apartment, drowning in a half-finished novel that's been sitting on his desk for over a year. He's got a dog named Dennis who won't stop barking, a neighbor who constantly threatens to report him, and a crush on his downstairs neighbor, Catherine, who barely knows he exists. He's invisible, uninspired, and honestly, pretty miserable. But Neil has no idea that far beyond our atmosphere, his life is being watched. Not by the government, and not by his boss, but by an intergalactic council of aliens. These aliens are essentially the cosmic judges of the universe. They've been sweeping the galaxy, and Earth happens to be their latest project. They aren't impressed. They see us as messy, selfish, and chaotic. They've pretty much decided to pull the plug on the whole planet. But because they believe in fair trials, they grant humanity one final test. They're going to give one random average human the power to do absolutely anything, literally anything, just by speaking it into existence. If that human uses the power wisely, we survive. If they mess it up, Earth gets wiped off the map. And of course, in a cosmic twist of bad luck, the person they pick is Neil. The transition isn't exactly heroic. Neil's riding his bike, takes a spill, and boom, the powers are unlocked. At first, he doesn't know it. He's just having a terrible day at school, getting chewed out by his principal, and listening to his best friend Ray vent about his own pathetic love life. Neil, at his wit's end, jokingly says, "I'd make an alien ship come and destroy my class." And instantly, a massive blast rocks the school. His classroom is vaporized. He rushes home confused and terrified, only to find his apartment a wreck because of his dog Dennis. He snaps, "If I can make an alien ship destroy my class, you can clean this mess yourself." And the mess just vanishes. The trash cleans itself up. That's the moment the gears start turning. He tests it with a bottle of whiskey, commanding it to go back into the bottle. It obeys. He's exhilarated. He's confused. He's powerful. But he's also dangerously naive. He tries to fix the school disaster by wishing everyone back to life, but he accidentally triggers a zombie apocalypse. Panicked, he hits the undo button, resetting everything to just before lunch. This is where he starts to get dangerous. He realizes he can use this power to fix his miserable life. He makes his students perfect, turns his cruel principal into a kind mentor, and tries to set his buddy Ray up with a girl he likes. It feels like a win, right? He's playing the benevolent deity, but the cracks show up fast. When he wishes to be the president of the United States just for fun, he's suddenly surrounded by Secret Service agents in a high-stakes, terrifying emergency. He realizes that when you pull a string on one side of the tapestry, the whole thing starts to unravel. He teleports into his neighbor Catherine's apartment, terrifies her, and then has to force her to forget it. It's becoming a mess. Then, the stakes hit the ceiling. His best friend Ray gets a taste of the power and, naturally, starts using it to turn himself into a local celebrity, eventually leading to Dorothy, the woman he likes, developing an obsession with him that borders on insanity. Neil tries to help, but he keeps making things worse, turning Ray into a sausage just to get him out of his hair. Meanwhile, Catherine's toxic ex-boyfriend Grant re-enters the picture. He's violent, he's controlling, and he breaks into Neil's apartment with a gun. This is the breaking point. The aliens are watching, and they are horrified. They realize giving this level of power to a human was a catastrophic mistake. They momentarily glitch the connection, cutting Neil's power at the exact worst moment. He's vulnerable. He tries to make Catherine fall in love with him, but the power isn't there, and for a split second, he thinks his wish worked anyway. But the truth is, the dynamic between them is built on a foundation of manipulation. Grant kidnaps Neil and forces him to read from a list of demands. Make the English have giant ears. Make Catherine love him. Just pure absurdity. Neil is forced to comply, but he manages a clever countermove, turning Grant into a corgi. It's the kind of dark comedy moment that makes you laugh until you remember that if he stops, the world ends. He realizes he's been using this power for himself, for his ego, for his petty desires. He decides to pivot. He tries to save the world. He stops wars, he ends hunger, he fixes the climate. But human nature is stubborn. When food is unlimited, people just get greedy or lazy. When he stops the wars, people find new things to fight about. He's creating a utopia that's just as broken as the world he tried to replace. He hits rock bottom. He's on a bridge, ready to end it all, feeling like he's failed at everything. At love, at being a teacher, at being a god. He's completely broken. He realizes the only way to save the world is to stop trying to control it. He makes the ultimate sacrifice. He gives his powers to the only being who is truly pure and loyal, his dog, Dennis. And what does Dennis do? He does the smartest thing anyone has ever done with infinite power. He wishes to destroy the source of the power itself. The alien ship is destroyed. The cosmic test ends. Neil is just a guy again. No magic, no shortcuts, no grand, sweeping, world-altering commands. And in that silence, he finally finds what he was looking for all along. He goes back to his life, approaches Catherine not as an all-powerful deity, but as a normal, flawed man. And this time, it sticks. She says yes to dinner. He's back to writing, back to teaching, and for the first time, he's genuinely happy because his life is real, not conjured. It's a classic lesson hidden in a wild premise. We spend so much time wishing for the power to change our circumstances, but true fulfillment usually comes from the things we can't control. If you were handed the power to change one thing in the world right now, not for yourself, but for everyone, what would it be, and are you sure it wouldn't backfire? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this trip through cosmic chaos, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the movies that make us think. Thanks for watching.